Oh. I know it's been the grid. Let me see something. Oh. Yo, got the first person in. What up? You got to put something in the chat for me, man. Let me know you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, man. What we got popping? Solar Mike, what up? What up? Sixth Region, what up? What up? What up? Kareem, what up? What up? Harmony, what's happening? We good? We good? All right, man. Everybody got to click the thumbs up, though. I guess it feeds the algorithm. Miss Love and Light, what up? Everybody got to do thumbs up, man. Let's hurry up and get some people in here and let's just have a conversation real fast, man. I appreciate you, man. Yeah. Let's go. All right. Come on, man. Quick 11 people in. Give me 11 thumbs up real fast. Let's go, man. Let's build on some things. Oh man, you got it, man. I appreciate y'all. So real fast, man. I just want to say what's up to you. I ain't been over here in a minute, man. You at the mall? That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So I ain't been over here in a minute. Your partner been like hella super busy in the real estate world. You know what I'm saying? And man, I can't make no excuses for it. Like I'm having the time of my life. Life is changing. We talking like 7 rentals on the board. And if you know me, I'm an Aquarius, so that means I'm a fixed zodiac sign. So since this is an astrology channel, I'm gonna try to implement some astro talk into what I do. So a fixed zodiac sign simply means these people are very, very focused, stubborn, because their birthday falls in the middle of a season. So each zodiac sign will fall in 3 categories. Either they're going to be cardinal, the beginning of the season, like Sixth Region just put in there, or you're going to be fixed, you're going to be in the middle of a season, or you're going to be mutable, you're going to come at the end of the season. And these personality types are interesting because the cardinal people, and here's the rule, you got to look at all of the planets, including the rising sign. So there's 10 planets if we count the sun and the moon. You count your rising sign if you know your time of birth, then you can count that as a factor too. And then you want to see what sign has the most energy, because you can be a cardinal sign, but you can be like you're a Capricorn. That's a cardinal sign. But when you were born, you had 7 planets in Libra. Trust me, you're going to act more like a Libra than you are a Capricorn, guaranteed, because majority of the planetary energy is in this one spot. So when I make this general statement, I am talking about the energy is there to support it. All right. So you got to forgive me. I've been painting houses and stuff, man. I got paint splatter on me, but that's part of my new grit. So the fixed signs, the Taurus, the Leo, the Scorpio, the Aquarian, these people come in the middle of the season. Aquarius is in the middle of the winter. Taurus is in the middle of the spring. Leo's in the middle of the summer. Scorpio is in the middle of the fall, right? And so we are the signs that deal with fix and focus is the key. Hence the one word with the bull, stubborn as a bull, right? Because the bull is a fixed sign. You can't move it. So that simply means to focus. So when I get on something, I get like focus. And I have a unique ability. So it's been told to me. People are like, damn, man, when you get on something, you like, it's like you master it. You can be able to give it right back. And that's how I be. 10V, what up? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I be. So I've just been in real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like this year, I said, yo, I'm gonna figure out rentals. And I've been doing this process of different strategies to acquire rentals. I'm talking 7 doors now. You know what I mean? Did my first subject to deal where I can take over somebody's mortgage. They can't sell their house because the house, they owe 100,000 to the bank, but the house is only worth 85. So you can't sell it, right? But yes, you can. How about I'll give you $3,000 to move out, and then you sign over to me, and then my company will take over your payments. And then they'll be like, oh, yeah, let's do that, right? So that's called subject to existing finance. I've done that. I've done owner finance, where the owner owns the property free and clear, and they want 30,000 for it. And I say, well, Miss Pam, would you consider, I got 2 offers for you, 20,000 cash, or you sell it to me for 15,000 and carry the other 15 for $250 a month for 60 months, which is 15,000 when you do the math. And she's like, yeah, sure, I ain't have no problem doing that. Let's do that. So I have the owner willing to finance, right? They're willing to wait for their other half of the money for 5 years. And if you notice, that's interest free because she wants 30,000. I give her 15 up front and then 15 over time and whatnot. So that's called owner finance. So I was able to do that technique as well. You know, just various techniques of real estate, who even my mentors have never done it because, you know, they were fortunate enough to come in the game and learn how to raise money. So they just raise money. But sometimes when you don't have money, there's other creative options on the table that you can do. And I've just been blessed enough to be able to go through these particular strategies and whatnot. Even tax foreclosure. The house is going to the auction. Hold on. You ain't got to bid at the auction. Fuck the auction, man. How about I go find the owner and say, owner, what are you going to do with this property? Sorry, you having bad times, but you look like you're about to lose it at the auction. Do you plan to get it back? Because you only got 30 days, depending on where you at. And it was like, nah, you know, nah, I'm just gonna let it go. And I'm like, well, what you want for it? What can I put in your pocket? You know, because I'll handle the taxes. I'll pay the back bill, and just give me 10,000. Cool. I made 17,000 off of that. It's sold at the auction, but where I'm at, I got 30 days to hurry up and get downtown and pay that back bill, and then it's mine. And then whoever won it at the auction, they'd get a refund from the county clerk and the sheriff. Okay. And so I don't have to go bidding and the price go up and up and up. I can just go find the owner and say, what you going to do? If the owner is going to say, I can't do nothing, it's done, then that gives you a lot of power because you can just be like, well, I tell you what, I give you $2,000, sign it over to me. Don't worry about that. I'll go handle it because I think I can make this happen versus you getting nothing. Right. So I've mastered that particular technique and so forth and so forth. All right. So let's get into today's conversation. I just wanted to give you my long reason why I haven't been here. Right. You got to get with me because, see, man, this thing to me is about how do you use this science to further your life. So if I can help it, I want to have certain contractual signings at a certain time. I want to take possession of the property if I can within a certain time of the calendar, right? I want to use the science in business to progress myself versus me pretty much chasing the news and talking about, oh, Megan Thee Stallion got shot in the foot. You know, like I can do that all day, but I got so much content right there that is enough to educate people on. And I'm not here to chase people and be a goddamn news reporter. I'm busy building my thing, right? As of right now. So anyway, let's talk about America and karma. Okay. American karma, because this is a subject matter that's I'm passionate about. Tony Robbins has a great quote that says, don't talk about shit unless you're passionate about it. And that really stuck with me because there's a few subject matters that I really fuck with heavy. It could be the star science. It's definitely black and white issues of history and race, and wealth building and whatnot, and tying that all in together. So what's interesting is there's this major alignment known as the Pluto and Saturn alignment. There's an excellent video that's been out for years on YouTube right here called quantum astrology. And he outlines how every time Pluto and Saturn are conjoined in the sky together, are opposite one another, there is a major shift in the world powers government every single time. I mean, it's a phenomenal video. It's called Quantum Astrology. I haven't seen it in years, but it was here on YouTube. And I'm talking about from Rome to Greece and just different civilizations. Okay. Zigzagger, what up? So Pluto, Capricorn, Pluto, Saturn, and Capricorn. Pluto represents the end, death, transformation, power struggles, decay, transformation, more of a atomic nuclear waste, a meltdown from within. Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, which means Saturn is at home and strong here, represents government. So then you have Capricorn, Saturn as government, and Pluto means death and transformation. Then, goddamn it, the government will go through some form of transformation. It's just really that simple, right? Saturn represents old karma. The past is Saturn. So the United States of America, the soil, has some major cleaning up to do. So a case in point will be, I haven't looked into it, but I was told via Minister Jew that Breonna Taylor's verdict, God rest the dead, yesterday is the same day of the Emmett Till verdict. I haven't looked into it at all. But if that be true, then that simply means what we always been saying for years is space is intelligent. It has memory. You know it has memory because every freaking year you celebrate your birthday. Every year you be on your anniversary, on your kid's birthday. You're celebrating a point in space. That's all you're doing. You can call it whatever you want to call it. The truth of the matter, astronomically speaking, every time the Earth gets right here, you celebrate. Okay? So space has memory. Trust me, it does. Okay? So the issue that we have, the black and white issue, is on both sides of the ledger. The people is doing something wrong and incomplete. I wouldn't say wrong, I would say incomplete. That's a better word. And the government, United States of America, has done something wrong and incomplete. Okay? Now, the issue of the black and white thing stems from, God damn, man. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna have to take it there. If you're dealing with the black and white issue of slavery, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to ask a question. What the fuck did black people do to deserve from God? Because remember, you believe in God, you believe in ancestors. So I'm talking to that group of people who have that belief, right? What the fuck did you do to deserve that situation? That's the question. Because if there is a God and ancestors are real, then that means they allowed that shit to happen. They signed off on the ordinance to allow that shit to happen. You ain't tricking me that it didn't go down that way if they all wise and all knowing and can see some shit, right? That's one. But when you start looking at the physical timeline of history, it's very interesting that a group or a confederation of black folks called Moors were actually enslaving white Christians. It was enslaving European Christians. And the Catholic Church ended up clapping back in the 1400s and late 1300s and giving Portugal the right to go into Africa and return the work that was getting put in on them. Like, yo, they riding against us and our spiritual belief in God, ride against them too. Facts. You were enslaving white folks. When the last of the Moors get expelled, 1492, Christopher Columbus set sail, and this gives birth to, I'm not talking about people not already on the land, this gives birth to the European concept of a new world, okay? Because shortly thereafter, late 1500s, early 1600s, the record book shows that slaves are now in America. In Georgia, late 1500s, Jamestown, Virginia, 1619? So now the roles get reversed, okay? But it's a fact. You going all through Spain, especially northern Spain where the Christians was, and you enslaving them. You fucking they girls, making them concubines. Like, come on, man. It just is what it is. Somebody got to tell it, right? So then the roles get flipped and get reversed. So now we on the 13 colony soil. We ain't on American soil yet, not the United States of America. We on the 13 colony soil that's gonna take shape and form. So slavery exists. Let's just give it 1619. We can go with that little wiki date for cool. That's cool, whatever. Black folk slaves. And we can go up to the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson actually had a portion where he talked about King George, you on some bullshit for having the fellow human being, black folks, as slaves. Now you can say, but wait a minute, Thomas Jefferson had slaves. Yes, but you got to understand something. When you 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old and you a teenager and your pappy die and your mama die and you the man of the household as a teenager and you inherit a system, that inheritance doesn't necessarily reflect your own free will and accord, your own consciousness. You may have a change of heart later. And I challenge anyone to have this dialogue that I'm telling you, that nigga TJ was a cold motherfucker, boy. They got it right by putting him on Mount Rushmore. He was cold. He was cold. So anyway, in the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson has a part where he's getting at King George about enslaving black folks. It's bullshit. This is bogus. But they told him, like, yo, nigga, you don't talk about that right now. Now we got to talk about art of war strategy. If you're going to talk about us filing a grievance and getting ready to launch a war and fight for our independence, it ain't even launch a war. The war had already been launched. March 1775, Battle of Concord, Battle of Lexington. The shit didn't already popped off. It's already the American Revolution has started. The Declaration of Independence is later, right? A couple years later. So in the list of grievances, he's like, yo, man, this is bogus. They said, no. Don't talk like that. Because see, although we fighting, those people in South Carolina and Georgia and North Carolina and Virginia, them motherfuckers will start fighting against us. So we can't afford to let them go fight for the British because they want to uphold slavery, and we really gonna get our ass kicked, and we ain't gonna be this new nation. Don't talk about the slave shit right now, nigga. It's too early for that. It's military strategy. So Thomas Jefferson did not put that in the Declaration of Independence. It's too early for that. Everything got its time and play, man. Because if you ain't got the muscle to come take it, man, you're gonna have to strategize, and you're gonna have to go through time because you ain't got the muscle to take it by brute force. Okay. So we know what happened. King George gives up, 1783. It's called the Treaty of Paris, ladies and gentlemen. King George like, oh, fuck it. Y'all can be the United States of America. I don't give a fuck. It's over. That's like 8 years of a war. Mind you, this shit is on foot. These niggas ain't got cars. They ain't got tanks. They ain't got motherfucking airplanes. This shit is on foot, nigga. So that's 8 years. United States of America can now say, oh shit, we won. We independent now. We a new nation. What is going to be the first order of business? Well, the first order of business needs to be, we need to form a constitution. How are we going to govern ourselves, right? But in the Constitution Convention, look it up. It's 1787, 1789. The Constitution gets ratified officially in 1789. But before the Constitution Convention and the Constitution is actually ratified, made official, the people in government, some people in government had a notion that's like, yeah, that fuck shit that's going on called slavery, we're going to end that shit. We dead in that shit. In fact, man, we're going to create this ordinance called the Northwest Ordinance of 1787. And ain't no slaves allowed in the new territory that's going to be north of the motherfucking Ohio River, right? And what's that? West of the Allegheny Mountains, which is Pittsburgh area, Pennsylvania, and east of the Mississippi. Okay, so that little territory within that little Northwest territory, which is really more of a, I don't like to say east because it ain't east, but on the map, it's Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota. Okay, it's right there in that pocket. No slaves are allowed here. Now, this is before a constitution is even written. Because you always had two type of white folks in America, man. Always. You had the abolitionist white boy, the Quakers of Germantown and Philly. They are on the record in the early 1600s of creating schools for black folks to read and write and shit. Look it up. In the early 1600s, the Quakers, the Society of Friends, who happen to be the holders of Benjamin Banneker's almanacs to this day. Look it up. Okay? So you always had some people who fucked with us. And then you also had some people who didn't fuck with us. Y'all all right? Can I talk like this? Because see, I go through an inner dilemma where I ain't going through this shit no more. Where I got to be like, oh, you shouldn't cuss. Man, fuck that, man. I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say when I want to say it. And I'm going to stop holding this shit in. So I can just get straight to the point and get back on my soapbox and do what the fuck I do well, which is articulate the goddamn message. To those who need to get it, which I know is the most critical piece of society, known as the critical mass. The streets. Okay? Now, because all I'm saying can be fucking verified and checked. So now you got some people who fuck with you and some people who don't. Now, I gotta salute Massachusetts. All the motherfuckers get it in. Salute to Massachusetts. Okay. I gotta salute Pennsylvania. They get it in. Because the early statesmen from those states right there, New York is in there, but nobody gets more busy than Massachusetts and Pennsylvania. I'm telling you. They ride. They was riding. And so you had a group of people who fuck with you. We're going to call them abolitionists for right now. And then their names is going to change, okay? So the abolitionists fuck with you. Their territory was called the North, okay? So before the Constitution is even ratified, 1789, the Northwest Ordinance is in play. Now, this is how you check this shit. Mississippi, open up another window. Mississippi secession speech. Google that shit and read that and read the first paragraph and come down a little bit. Watch they tell you that two things. It's real funny with them. They say that black folks are the only people who can endure the heat of the tropical sun, and we were made for fucking labor out in the field. So goddamn it, we need niggas. That was they cry. But they said, man, the United States has been fucking with the states' rights to have slaves even before we became the United States of America, and we direct your attention to the 1787 Northwest Ordinance where they wasn't allowing slaves. This is Mississippi saying this shit, who was number 2 to leave the United States at the act of the Civil War to get in and start the Civil goddamn War. They left. They was number 2. South Carolina was first. Mississippi was number 2. Okay? All right? So yeah, you're absolutely right. Some aboriginals. But I got a problem. I don't got a problem with aboriginals. I got a problem with Native Americans because, see, the history don't reflect Native Americans coming like, yo, that's fucked up what they doing to niggas over there. Man, we about to ride on these white boys and get these niggas free. That's just fucked up. Nope. They didn't do it. You know what they did do? They had slaves. Yeah, they had slaves. Oh, wait till COVID let up. I swear to you, I'm creating the illest documentary professional-wise that's going to outline this shit. And you see it, like professional documentary. Going to light this shit up. But they had slaves, especially the ones that they call the 5 civilized tribe. The Cherokee had slaves. There's a treaty between the Chickasaw and Choctaw of 1866 that I can direct your attention to, that the United States government is telling them niggas, yo, y'all got to let up on these African Americans. The fucking slave shit is over. What the fuck is y'all doing? Go read that shit for yourself and just type in African. Open up a document or pull it up on the screen, hit Control F so you can find a word on the page and type in African and watch how many times African pop up in relation to slavery and mistreatment that the Choctaw and Chickasaw was doing to black folks. But we don't talk about that shit. We don't talk about reparations from them. But they had us as slaves. Anyway, so Mississippi is like, yo, man, United States is bogus because these niggas is fucking with our independent right to have slaves, and they've been doing this shit for a very long time. They've been doing this shit since 1787 Northwest Ordinance, and it's documented. That's what they said. It's in their secession speech. Okay? All right, cool. So that's a fact. There are 2 sides that are for slavery and against slavery. Okay? Now, emotional, non-educated niggas want us to believe, just to sound deep and shit, they want us to believe that the white boys that went to war with each other were actually on the same goddamn side, just to sound deep. And I can't stomach that shit. I cannot stomach that shit. That is false. Nigga, you mean to tell me they had an agreement to kill each other and shoot each other and die as a trick when they could have just said, yo, fuck these niggas. We're keeping them as slaves forever. Like, come on, it don't even add up when you start analyzing this shit. It's stupid, right? But niggas say stupid shit like that to sound deep, right? So anyway, speed it up some. United States of America. Oh, let's go to the Constitutional Convention, because now we at the Constitution. So at the Constitution, man, at the meeting in Philadelphia, this is 1787, 1789. There's a 2-year dialogue that's taking place. You know what I'm saying? In order to form this new country. Again, look it up. It's known as the Philadelphia Convention, also known as the Constitutional Convention. You're going to see it started in 1787. 1789, Constitution gets ratified. In that conversation, the infamous 3/5 clause was created. The issue of slavery was so thick that they couldn't come to an agreement on how the southern states will apportion or count the slaves when it comes to representation in Congress and how they were going to be taxed by the federal government. So 2 Northerners created the 3/5 compromise. Now you have to hear me closely on this shit, because this is where our problem of misinterpretation in the facts get really, really fucked up. And to me, this is absolutely the greatest misinformation ever done on the planet. And I'll tell you why. 2 weeks ago, I was on the guest radio show out of Colorado. A white woman and real estate investor invited me to come on and talk about racism in real estate. So I'm spitting my shit, right? And they had one of the panel dudes was a Spanish guy, and he is an engineer. And he actually, Colorado STEM schools, what is it? Science, technology, engineering, and math, tapped him to create the curriculum. And I asked him, what do you remember about the 3/5 clause? And he's like, yeah, that's when like the government saw, black people like as 3/5 of a human being. I said, see, they got you too. And this is a fucking engineer. Now, here's the key. The 3/5 clause, because niggas say the government, United States of America, see black people as 3/5 of a human being. That's what they say. And we get attitude about the shit. But that's not true. The 3/5 clause simply states that, hey, southern states. See, before I get into it, it actually works in our favor and we should be celebrating it, but we don't. And that's why I say it's the biggest mind fucking history. It says, hey, southern states, you can't count all of the slaves and have a representation, count them all as being part of your population to have representation in Congress. So let's just say for simple math purposes, say there's 1 million slaves. And at the time, a representative from Congress, a House rep, can only represent 30,000 people at one time before the next group, before another rep has to come in and represent the next 30,000. Okay? So what's 1 million divided by 30,000? Let's just do the math. Let's do the math together so y'all can see what the fuck is really happening here. Okay? So 1 million, right, divided by 30 stacks, right, is about 33 state representatives if you're going to count the 1 million slave population. But what the North said was you can only count 3/5, which is 60%. Okay? So instead of counting 1 million, you can only count 600,000. And now you have to take the 600,000 and divide that by the 30,000 group of people that each representative can represent. And that's going to give you 20 reps. Okay? So now you got 20 reps Whereas if you would have counted the entire slave population, y'all white racist cracker asses would have had 33 reps. So 3/5 was actually a strategy that shrank the slaveholders' representation in Congress. But yet niggas in the world, especially in the United States, tells the story as if the United States did something wrong and saw us as 3/5 of a human being because they didn't count the other two, because you can count 3 out of 5, the other 2 people inside of the census. And that's false. So if I say, yo, Miss Love and Light, happy to help, Harmony, Lombard's Moon, Indigenous Indigo, y'all come in, and the other 2, y'all can't come in. The other 2 gonna be like, oh man, he saw me as less than a human being because he wouldn't let me come into his party. It's the same argument. It's the same goddamn argument. It don't make no sense. Now, the question is, what does that do to a group of people who is living under the perception that the government sees them as 3/5 of a human being? Now, here's the mind fuck. Because it's easy to accept that notion when you come from slavery and Jim Crow and dogs being sicked on you, and Breonna Taylor's verdict is fucking not guilty. It's easy to fucking easy match that line and say, well, fuck it. I feel like I'm 3/5 of a human being. That's why I said the United States is fucked up too. Right? So now my point is, there's a group of people in the United States who was fucking with us. And they rode for from the inception of the government, because it's right, the Northwest Ordinance is before the Constitution. The government now forms, okay, we the new United States of America, we need a first president. George Washington, you up. George Washington was a cold motherfucker too, though, man. Washington was cold. You got to give him his props. They don't never tell us, and we don't remember for some reason, that slavery actually ended in 3 phases. All we know is the domestic aspect of slavery, Abraham Lincoln. George Washington stopped slaves from being exported out of the United States of America and made it illegal. It's called the Slave Act, the Slave Prohibition Act of 1794. Watch this chess move. 1793 is the Fugitive Slave Act, ladies and gentlemen. Google the shit. The southern states are pissed. Hey, when these niggas get free and they come up north, y'all ain't doing shit about it. That's fucked up. That's our property. Right? That would be the conversation. So the government got pressure. The southern representatives and congressmen got to put some pressure on this shit. These boys up north, they wilding the fuck out. These slaves getting free and they ain't coming back. We got to do something in the law about this. So we're going to sign off on the Fugitive Slave Act. Congress pass it. President George Washington signs off on that bitch. He ain't got no choice. You got to do what the Congress say. The very next year, 1794, George Washington signs the Slave Prohibition Act, making it illegal for slaves to be shipped out the country. Now, hold the fuck up, y'all. Wait a minute. Either you for slavery, nigga, or you ain't for it. Like, why are you stopping it? Why are you stopping any portion of it if you for it? Right? So I said, oh, this is some shit. This is some art of war shit that's taking place, because there's 2 sides of the story that eventually went to war. So you can trace it all the way back down to the ideology. And that's what I did. And trace it all the way back down. Right? So you can say, oh, but he had slaves. Of course. The motherfucker was like 9, 12 years old when his daddy died. He inherited the shit. He grew up in Virginia. Of course he had fucking slaves. Right? But he signs a law to make it illegal for slaves to leave the country. Now, let's go back just a little bit, because it's 1794. He signs that law. Let's go back to the Constitutional Convention, 1787, 1789. The South is told that slavery is going to end within 20 motherfucking years. Y'all going to put a wrap to this shit. That would make it 1807 to 1809. All right. I'm going to call you back, man. 1807 to 1809. Okay. Because the Constitutional Convention is a 2-year conversation, basically. So from 1807 to 1809, we're going to see who the fuck is trill and keeping this shit really real on this shit, right? Okay. So 1793 come, Fugitive Slave Act. The very next year, George Washington signed into law. The other Congress members that's faux blacks clapped back and said, nah, it's illegal for the exportation of slaves. Okay. Now, let's speed up to the third president, Thomas Jefferson. Oh, Thomas Jefferson signs a law in late 1807 that's going to take effect January 1st, 1808, which is dead on the clock, dead on the motherfucking clock of that 20-year prophecy from 1787 to 1789 in 20 years, which would be 1807 to 1809. Slavery, that shit got to stop. Thomas Jefferson signs a law that makes it illegal for the importation of slaves, meaning any slaves being brought across the Atlantic Ocean coming into America, that's illegal. Dead on schedule. This is the same man who penned the goddamn Declaration of Independence in the fancy calligraphy, right? Wonder why George Washington and Jefferson is on Mount Rushmore? Give them they shit. Give them they shit. Give it to them. They deserve that shit, right? So I said, damn, he on cue. He on cue. After Thomas Jefferson, another one who they don't talk about, which is my motherfucker, is James Monroe. Now, James Monroe has some very interesting shit happen on his watch. Y'all ready? One, the Missouri Compromise. Motherfuckers don't remember this shit. I'm gonna tell you the problem with dumbass American education. They teach us this shit too early, where we're kids and we don't have absolutely the mental capacity, most of us, far as the interest goes. We're not interested in that shit at that age. You teach it too early. Because now that you a grown-ass man and a grown-ass woman, you don't know shit about American history. Why? And you supposed to have learned it. And they teach you this shit. Man, this shit been taught to my kids. I've been doing cyber school for fucking years. I've been quarantined for years. And it's the same fucking shit. And they don't remember it. Every fucking year they forget the same. They forget the shit. And I know why. Because it's not of importance and they're not teaching it in accordance with the way the brain develops. Right? I say it every fucking year. I'm this fucking close to telling the school system, fuck you, send truancy, bitch. I deal with it. I'm fucking fed up with school. I hate this shit because most of this shit is irrelevant. And we're wasting time here. And you notice when a kid gets 17, he can drop out of school because when he turned 18, you ain't got no fucking legal say-so over the shit no more as a school to enforce this shit. And then and it ain't like the goddamn, what job is asking you for a high school diploma for your ass to get a job and shit? And why the fuck you want to be an employee any goddamn way? Ain't nothing wrong with it, but that's not where it is anyway, right? All right, let me come off that because I can't stand the school system. So here's a question. As strategy, if you know that we can't go to war over this slave issue right now because the South will join the Brits and they will turn against us and we'd be fucking done. We got to do this shit in a succession of stages. It has to be smart. It has to be strategy. We have to deal with it later. What would be the first thing you will do to put a blow at slavery? Stop them niggas from leaving the country. Watch this, because this is George Washington, 1794. The law was passed. It's illegal to export slaves out the country. Now, I would think if you have it in your heart to eventually free these niggas, then if y'all were to go to a civil war sometime in the future, which by the way, it happened in 1861, but if y'all were to go to war in the future, these niggas just might be your ally since you're going in to help them, which by the way, that happened. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it illegal to stop these niggas from getting out of here because we may need them in the future when we make another move. This shit is chess, not checkers. Then Thomas Jefferson come and he say it's illegal to bring niggas into the country. James Monroe, the Missouri Compromise is some dope ass shit, y'all. All that shit is dope. You want to see chess? Missouri says, hey, we're coming inside the United States of America as a new state and we want to have slaves. Somebody else in the United States government said, oh, really? Oh, okay. Hey, that eastern part of Massachusetts, divide a little piece of that shit off. Call that shit Maine. Maine, you a new state. You coming in this motherfucker as a free state. Facts. Google the Missouri Compromise and tell me if I'm lying. Yeah. Somebody is riding with us so motherfucking hard that they say, oh, you want to come in as a slave state? Okay, I got you. Maine, come on in. You free. Now what, nigga? Because we about to get busy now. We about to go to war pretty soon. This is the Missouri Compromise 1819. Okay? This is like 11 years after Thomas Jefferson said no slaves allowed to be brought inside the United States. That's illegal. Guess what else happened in 1819, ladies and gentlemen? 1819, 1820. The piracy laws. Yeah. Under James Monroe, it was illegal for anybody to be on the oceans carrying black folks as slaves. Facts. So the Navy of the United States of America had a special fleet known as the African Squadron. Look it up, called the African Squadron. Their job was to patrol the west coast of Africa and the east coast of Brazil to make sure that the Atlantic Ocean, nobody was transporting slaves on that water. United States government is doing this. This is James Monroe. Facts. Nobody talks about it though. Right? Do you know, show you, because I said space is intelligent earlier. Do you know that Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, John Adams, who signs off on the Declaration of Independence, who were both the second and third president, who were friendly rivals, do you know that they both died on fucking July the 4th, like in 1826? Damn near 1,000 miles apart from each other. They died on the same goddamn day, same year. Facts. And they signed the famous document on July 4th. This shit is bigger than fucking rap, homie. This shit is big. This shit is on some other shit called space is intelligent, man. This shit is dealing with consciousness, cosmic stream of consciousness to get us to wake the fuck up and do some shit. Hopefully we can get to that. Look it up. And guess who else died on July 4th, but not the same year? James Monroe. Look it up. Look it up. See, when Abraham Lincoln dropped a motherfucking clue in his speech called "The mystic chords of memory will yet swell again," you better ask yourself a question. What the fuck do you mean? A mystic chord of memory, nigga? What you talking about? Mystic chord of memory? And then he started talking about from every graveyard and tombstone to tombstone. So you're talking about there's some type of mysterious chord, which is a connection. A chord connects something. There's some type of mysterious connection to people who are dead. Come on, man. Sip of red wine, motherfucking Abe. Sent to the motherfucking USA, but I'm gonna nail their ass because we just gotta be fair. Justice is the order of the goddamn day. So, James Monroe, Missouri Compromise, and the motherfucking the African Squadron, the piracy laws, and he does one more thing called the Monroe Doctrine, which is dope. He told England, France, Spain, man, listen, I understand y'all got some business over here in the Western Hemisphere, and y'all done already came over here and took over some islands and shit, and that's cool. But don't come over here in the Western Hemisphere trying to colonize anybody else, or else the United States government is going to perceive that as a threat, and we going to war and we beating y'all ass. Facts. It's called the Monroe Doctrine. Now, here's the thing where the emotion of niggas come in at. Well, the United States just wanted to expand their empire of imperialism, brother. Man, that's some bullshit. Maybe it's true because imperialism ain't slavery. You got to ask yourself this question. The United States ain't never going another motherfucker country and motherfucking take that bitch over and take African slaves with them and open up shop and make the inhabitants fucking chattel slavery like the South had us. Where? Show me where has the United States taken black folks as slaves and opened up shop and like, yep, here goes slavery all over again. Free labor forever. Where? They ain't never did that shit, man. Why? Because it was always in the best interest of the black folk as far as the dream of what Abraham Lincoln argued successfully and won in his 1858 debates. The founding fathers were against slavery. Now, that don't mean all of them was. Absolutely not. This shit is a conundrum. Of course, everybody wasn't. And the ones that was had slaves. And some people, guess what? Who fought for the Confederacy later end up becoming prosecutors of the goddamn Ku Klux Klan. What kind of shit is that? Oh, we're going to get into this shit. I'm going to give you the most motherfucking thorough history on this shit. I'm going to tie it all in. Now, we can move on from Monroe, right? So the next thing is Lincoln. What up, Black Million? So next is Lincoln, because now he's the one who kills the domestic aspect of slavery, which we just know what that is, right? So let me just fill you into some shit that's in between those timelines. 1854 is a very interesting year because shit's about to get bloody. This is a period of time known as Bleeding Kansas. Bleeding Kansas was all about people who wanted slaves, known as border ruffians, and people who didn't want slaves, known as Jayhawkers, like the Kansas Jayhawks. Okay? Facts. Your man John Brown, who everybody loves, went to Kansas, opened up shop, and put some work in and killed some motherfuckers who wanted slaves. I would love to direct your attention to a gentleman by the name of Colonel James Montgomery. I got to say it, from Ohio, who was the colonel who was giving Harriet Tubman weapons. He also would go to Kansas, raise up a regiment, and get a group of men together who was against slavery, and they start banging on them, boy. This is 1854. The Civil War starts in 1861. They try to sell you like it's two different events because the United States didn't declare war yet in 1854, but that shit had already been brewing 7 years prior to the actual start of the Civil War. It was so fucking bloody, they called it Bleeding Kansas, for Christ's sakes. This is about slavery. And the only people that's standing up against this shit is white folks named John Brown. This is why Killer Mike loved John Brown so much. He's by far probably the most, he's the martyr of fucking white dudes, the abolitionist shit. Like, fuck that, we getting guns and we gonna go kill these motherfuckers. Which he ended up invading Harper's Ferry to his demise, right? This is 1854 bleeding Kansas. Why is it so thick? Because a law got passed known as the Kansas-Nebraska Act. The Kansas-Nebraska Act pushed back the Missouri Compromise. Oh, how did I leave this out? The Missouri Compromise, James Monroe, they said no slaves are allowed above 38 degrees north latitude, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, you made a border of pretty much under Tennessee going all the way across America and said, God damn it, ain't no slaves allowed above 38 north latitude. Fuck coming up to the north to get free. Ain't no slaves allowed above 38 degrees north. Look it up. Look it up. So then the Kansas-Nebraska Act was like, yo, the United States of America, you don't have no right. And this is who Abe Lincoln was fighting against in the debates. Known, he called him Judge Stephen Douglas. He was really a senator. Abe Lincoln will always call him judge because he was a state judge. And the reason Abe Lincoln will always call him judge and not senator, because as a judge, you're supposed to have fucking wisdom, you moron. So Abe Lincoln was playing the law of semantics on his brain, on his psyche. Okay. So you have the Kansas-Nebraska Act says, hey, United States of America, you can't tell nobody who the fuck can have slaves and not have slaves. That's up to the state to decide, a concept known as popular sovereignty. Okay. Now, they said, cool. Well, you right. That's what we gonna do. So that motherfucker's like, what? Oh, so now y'all gonna have slaves? Oh, anywhere? Oh, no. John Brown wasn't having it. Colonel James Montgomery and them wasn't having it. So they went down in Kansas and start kicking their ass. So now we at the Civil War. And we all know what happened at the Civil War. Sometimes we act like we don't know because maybe we really don't know. But the truth of the matter is, and I'm gonna drop it here because you have, and they even put it on Time magazine, and it amazes me how fucking easy it is to put misinformation out. If you Google Abraham Lincoln the racist, I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna say. They're gonna take a sound bite from a letter that he wrote Horace Greeley, who was the head of a newspaper, an abolitionist type newspaper. And they might take some excerpt sound bites from the 1858 Douglas debates. And in the letter to Horace Greeley, Greeley asks him what's his position on slavery. And Abe Lincoln, this is the time during the Civil War. Abe Lincoln's like, listen, man, the Civil War ain't about slavery. All that I do for the Union. Now, if I could save the Union without freeing any slaves, I'm going to save the Union. And if I can save the Union by freeing one slave, I will free the slave and save the Union. And if I can free the Union by saving all of the slaves, I would do that. But all that I do is for the Union. And motherfuckers be like, they take one slave. See, you see the first thing he said? He doing it for the Union and not slaves. But the next line he says, if I could save the Union and free all the slaves, I would do that. And they never put that part in there because they're taking sound bites again to sound deep. So that's their first flaw argument in that shit. They're not even giving you the whole goddamn story, which is total opposite and contrary to what they said. Now let's go to the debate with Douglas. And Lincoln may say some shit like, well, Douglas is calling him out. And he like, man, you said the black race is your brother. And the founding fathers was writing documents and shit that said they free. The black man ain't no kin to me. He be a kin to y'all. And Douglas started accusing Lincoln of, they called Lincoln's party black republicanism. And called that nigga a black Republican because he fuck with black folks. Facts. You can go look up the 1858 debates. Okay. And so, man. So in Douglas is calling him out, and Douglas is like, man, you said that black folks are even. And I'm telling you, we ain't. And so Abe Lincoln had to back up a little bit. And he said, listen, white folks are superior. And I believe white folks are superior to the black race, in which I'm a part of. Now you got to watch this, because people will take that. And I even seen the dear Minister Farrakhan. This ain't no knock on nobody, right? This is like, yo, you got to understand something, man. Yep, the fruit run deep in many pockets, bro. I'm telling you, we in many pockets. But it's okay to have contrasting ideas. And everybody ain't gonna get everything right anyway, right? But I'm telling you what the history says inside of this story. He said Lincoln said, the white race is superior to blacks, and I am of the superior race, right? He said that. Now you got to ask yourself, is he lying? If you're talking about superiority at law and your mobility in the land to move about, is he lying? I can admit that white folks at that time in law were superior. It's just, goddamn, you, yes, sir, massa. Yes, oh, yes, sir, massa. Yes, sir, massa. Oh, buck dancing, yes, sir, massa ass niggas. That was that timeline. You ain't gonna sell me. That shit was so superior. Motherfuckers to this day call that shit white supremacy. Now, I don't even call that shit white supremacy, right? But that's what we called it, right? White supremacy. So, status at law, a motherfucking white boy was superior at law. But here's the kicker. And here's the beauty. Stephen Douglas said Abraham Lincoln is being slick, y'all. When we are down south in Little Egypt, Southern Illinois is known as Little Egypt. When we're down south in Little Egypt, Abraham Lincoln is saying that white folks is superior and he's of that race. But when we get up north in Northern Illinois, he switches his conversation up and say black people are his equal. Which one is it, Abe? I did a whole presentation on this shit. And I'll pull up the goddamn debate and let you know which one he said it at. Now, I'm telling you, Stephen Douglas is saying Abraham Lincoln is double dealing. And he's switching up his conversation based on his awareness of where he is politically or geographically. Because Southern Illinois was some racist motherfuckers. Illinois was vicious at one time. Illinois was so vicious that even you couldn't even bring free black people in the state and they get on your ass and charge you with some shit. Especially Southern Illinois, Cairo. Okay? So Abe knew where he was at. So he playing mind games, man. The strategist. So the reason that he said, now watch this, I'm gonna blow that whole union shit out the water. And then we're going to move on to where America dropped the ball so we can get to America's karma. Okay? Because the beginning is we fucked them up. Moors in Spain, the Africans, we fucked the white boys up. And then the roles reversed. Okay? Then America came and got us out the situation. And then the fourth point going to be America dropped the goddamn ball. And the fifth point is where me and you are at right now in this space and time and what's need to be done and why it's unconsciously spewing out right now on Emmett Till's birthday, Breonna Taylor's verdict come, or his verdict day is the same verdict day, whatever the alignment is. And the coincidence is because space is intelligent. So 1859, Abraham Lincoln does a speech in Cincinnati. Google the shit. Now, mind you, the person that says Abraham Lincoln is a racist, they're going to use the fact that Abraham Lincoln said to Horace Greeley that everything he do is for the Union and not for slavery. In the speech in Cincinnati in 1859, Abraham Lincoln said the only threat to the Union, the same Union that he later said, I ain't doing this for slavery, I'm doing this for the Union. The only threat to the Union and the perpetuity of the Union is slavery itself. Only thing you got to do is open up a window, type in Abraham Lincoln speech, 1859, Cincinnati, and read the shit for your goddamn self. Okay? So which one is it, Abe? Are whites superior? Or are you only doing this shit for the Union? Or are you doing it for slavery? And we're going to stick to the slavery issue because, hey, you say slavery is the only issue that's threatening the Union. So then when you come later and say, well, I'm doing this for the Union, are you telling the truth? Fuck no, he ain't telling the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the date that he wrote the letter to Horace Greeley, I promise you a few months later, Abraham Lincoln had already drafted the Emancipation Proclamation freeing black folks from slavery. He had already drafted and showed it to his cabinet members. When he gets called out on the issue of slavery, he backs up and say, no, I'm doing it for the Union. And then after the first victory, known as the Battle of Antietam in Maryland, soon as the Union get their first victory, this nigga come out and drop the Emancipation Proclamation. In September, on the fall equinox, right now in this day and time, the fall equinox was what, 2 days ago, right? Right now in this pocket of space, the Emancipation Proclamation was given out to the public and told these niggas, y'all got a couple months until January the 1st, because this shit is going to become law. Just letting y'all know, this shit's becoming law January 1st. It's going to take effect. Now it didn't because the president can't make law, but later the 13th Amendment will come 4 years later. Okay. To ultimately free slaves. All right. So that shit they talking about, I'm telling you, they ain't got the understanding, and they want to tell a narrative of white people are superior. Fuck that narrative. That's bullshit. Tell the story about the people who rolled with us. Tell the story that my man, and he's a bad motherfucker, man. He's a bad motherfucker. Go look into Grant's vice president, Henry Wilson from Massachusetts. I'll show you an email that I got from the senator's Library of Congress in the librarian of the senator's office is giving me the documents and shit. I got some shit loaded. Henry Wilson gives black people introduced Senate Bill 443, which is a bill that black people can have a bank known as the Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company. Senator Henry Wilson signs off for us to get a bank. Abraham Lincoln approves. Charles Sumner, who's from Massachusetts, who's also a senator, signs off on this shit as well. Told you Massachusetts go hard. Pennsylvania go hard. When we get inside the Civil War, Massachusetts and Pennsylvania go hard. I'm telling you, the real MOP, like you know, the MOP from New York, the rap group, the real MOP is Massachusetts, Ohio, Pennsylvania. But Massachusetts and Pennsylvania pre-Civil War legislation, when it came down to putting work in wartime, it was Ohio all day smoking these boys. And I'm this so you know I ain't bullshitting you when I say this shit. Oh nigga, this from you from Ohio, you gonna say that shit? No. I'm gonna give you facts. General Grant, who defeats Robert Lee, Ohio. William T. Sherman, who was always Grant's second in command under him, and every time Grant would get a promotion, who would take his spot? William Sherman, Ohio. The Secretary of War for Abraham Lincoln, Edward Stanton, also known as my Mars. Abraham Lincoln would call his Secretary of War by a goddamn planetary body called Mars, because he knew that Mars correspond to war. Now you can say, well, he just knew Greek mythology or whatever, or Roman mythology. Whatever. It still was a planet. Google it. Edward Stanton's name was fucking Mars, or Little Mars. That's what Abraham Lincoln used to call him. Somebody Google that shit and tell me if I'm lying. Type in Edwin Stanton Mars and watch it pop up. Ohio. So this is Secretary of War from Ohio. Okay. It goes deep, man. It goes deep. Go look at your next 10 Republican nominations after the death of Abraham Lincoln, who actually become the president, and watch they ass be from motherfucking Ohio. All besides one of them who's from Indiana, but he was born in Ohio. Go look into George Custer, who got the fucking surrender flag from General Robert Lee, bitch ass, Ohio. Go look at two armies, the Army of the Cumberland and the Army of the Ohio. The Army of the Cumberland was the first Army of the Ohio. Then they changed their name and named themselves after the Cumberland River. And then another army came through. All right. When we beat the rebels in Shiloh, the Battle of Shiloh, salute to Carlos Dom Bew, who led the Army of Ohio. Where he from? Ohio. I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, and I say it one more time. At the death of Abraham Lincoln, go look at a list of presidents and just go see where they from after Abraham Lincoln come that were Republican. And watch and see how many times Ohio pop up within the next 10. See? Thank you, Miss Loving Life. Edward Stanton was called Mars. Nigga, this is so there. Now, see, all this shit is relevant to me. I get it. Like, oh, really? Oh, this is some astro shit they talking about, really. It's just a cosmic transmission that's playing out. Now, where did the United States of America fuck up? I don't think you can get it. We can get reparations and repair off of slavery. I think it's ingenuine to not recognize that you enslaved them, because if you're going, because see, this is the thing. I wasn't a slave. You wasn't a slave. My grandmama picked cotton in Tennessee. My daddy mama, she was a cotton picker in Tennessee. So we can come from a lineage of slaves, but me and you ain't slaves, right? And we can say, well, this shit that fucked us up, right? That set us back. Facts. But if you saying that the descendants, because you're a descendant of Africa, and that fucked us up, can Europeans make the claim and say, yo, man, we descendants of Europeans, and when y'all enslaved us right before motherfucking we enslaved y'all, that fucked us up? Like when do you draw the line? But if you just want to keep it on some black and white shit, y'all owe us on this soil. Okay, I get it. But here's the thing. Let's go to Grant, who is your Civil War general, who wins the Civil War. He becomes president. 2 times he becomes president. Senator Hiram Revels is the first black senator that's introduced into Congress. It's in the Grant administration. So black people are becoming senators and House of Representatives under the Grant administration, who's the war general who wins the Civil War. Grant signs off on the 15th Amendment, which gives us the right to vote. This is what I mean, and shout out to Ava, but the 13th is that the movie on Netflix, they tell the story as if the 13th Amendment was a fucking clever plan to further enslave and entrap black folks. And that's some bullshit, man. I hate them. I'm telling you, you got to watch the narrative. They tear the narrative of a victim state of being. The 13th Amendment says you free, and servitude exists if you commit a crime. Last I checked, white folks is in jail too, and they get the same goddamn pay, 25 cents a goddamn hour, as everybody else do. Last I checked, they tell you don't break the law. And we all know what the fucking law is. So how is this a clever trick when you telling me what the law is? Like, it's a clever trick. I'm out of slavery, but you saying, but yeah. It's a trick if you get in trouble, though. If you break the law, you're going to be in trouble and you right back into servitude. But don't break the fucking law. How about that? Like, what kind of trick is that if they telling you what the law is? It don't make sense, but it's that kind of narrative is there because it comes from a loser mentality. I just got to say what it is, okay? Now, I want to talk about the side of victory that got us to the win. Now, Grant signs off on the 15th Amendment. Check it, 1870. Check it, 15th Amendment. You get the right to vote. When Grant leaves office, and after the Civil War, the South was divided into 5 military districts. And a war general from the North had the command over the military district. Okay. And so Grant leaves office, and the next president is Rutherford B. Hayes from Ohio. Okay. Told you. Rutherford B. Hayes from Ohio. And it's known as the Compromise of 1877, ladies and gentlemen. The Compromise of 1877. It's supposed to be an off-record, unofficial compromise that Rutherford B. Hayes beat Samuel Tilden by 1 electoral vote. They was rigging the votes on both sides. This shit is hectic. This is immediately after the Civil fucking War. Motherfuckers got pistols drawn out. Do y'all know that Senator Preston Brooks in South Carolina beat the fuck out of Charles Sumner, Senator of Massachusetts, on the goddamn Senate floor, beating with a cane, and Sumner almost lost his goddamn life? Like, y'all better look at, like, this shit was serious shit, man. Seriously. Okay? So this is before the Civil War. You know what I'm saying? So, or during the Civil War. So guns is drawn in the Republican Party, which is Lincoln's party, the one who purposely was created to stop slavery. The Republican Party is the Abolitionist Party. What the fuck happened to it? I'll tell you what happened to it. It got switched at the election of Barry Gold, the campaigns of Barry Goldwater and LBJ. Barry Goldwater wasn't pro-civil rights, and black folks jumped ship and went Democrat right there at that election right there. Okay. We'll nail all this shit down for us. And so 1877, the Republicans win again. Rutherford B. Hayes win. The Civil War is over. It's thick because we got the South divided up in military districts. But now we want to motherfucking do a redo. Recount the fucking votes, nigga. Get the guns out. Just some bullshit. The South want their power back. So you make a off the record compromise that says, I tell you what, man, let us stay in power. Let us win. And we're going to withdraw the federal troops, the Union Army, from the South and close down these 5 military districts. Slavery is over. That's for certain. But y'all going about y'all business, and we the fuck up out of here. Look it up. It's called the 1877 Compromise. And when they withdrew, the United States of America withdrew federal troops, that allowed the creation of what is known as the Black Codes and the Jim Crow laws to come into effect. And Black people was tortured literally during that time period of, this is called after Reconstruction. From that time period, Reconstruction, after the Civil War, all the way up to 1965, the Voting Rights Act. But wait a minute. The 15th Amendment in 1870, this is where you got to charge the United States at. We got the right to vote via Constitution 1870 under Grant. What the fuck do we need a Voting Rights Act for? That means 95 years have passed that America watched the dirty South, a name that they rightfully earned, do us dirty and start implementing literacy tests and all of those things to keep us away from the polls. That happened on your watch, America. Now, I would like to bring America's attention to a group of gentlemen who said, don't y'all do that nut ass shit and give these Confederates power, because if y'all give these type of dudes the power, we're going to be right back in the Black people going to be right back in the same situation. These people were known as radical Republicans. Name some names, Noble. My man Ben Wade from Ohio. John Sherman from Ohio, who was William T. Sherman's brother. Thaddeus Stevens out of Pennsylvania. Charles Sumner out of Massachusetts. Henry Wilson out of Massachusetts. Some even say Grant was a radical Republican. Huh? Especially Thaddeus Stevens. Facts. Look them up. Thaddeus Stevens. Boy, listen, soon as Lincoln got murdered and Johnson came in power, Johnson started rescinding the 40 acres in the mule was called Special Field Order number 15. Look it up. Special Field Order number 15. That was a military directive that came from who? Uncle Billy, William T. Sherman, who I told you by far is the coldest war general. That motherfucker didn't play no games. That motherfucker burned shit down. If you go Google Atlanta City Seal, it's going to be a falcon bird or a phoenix bird with a fire. And it's going to say resurgence, which is a Latin term to mean to rise again. Because Atlanta got burnt down. And so did Charleston, South Carolina. Because he implemented a policy known as scorched earth policy. Burn this motherfucker up. So when niggas with Bob Marley say, we're going to be burning and looting tonight. Yeah, that comes from that. That's scorched earth policy tactics. Okay. So when Andrew Johnson, after Lincoln died, rescinded Special Field Order number 15, took away the 40 acres, right? And allowed the returning Confederates to get their land back. Thaddeus Stevens and them was like, oh, fuck this. And Andrew Johnson tried to get rid of Edwin Stanton, the Secretary of War. He didn't like him. But he didn't have the power to do that. And they charged him, forget what the charge was. And long story short, Thaddeus Stevens wrote up an impeachment against Andrew Johnson, and they came one fucking vote short of impeaching his ass. Facts. Thaddeus Stevens. So you had this group of people that said, don't give Confederates no power. Now, Abraham Lincoln was more moderate. Abraham Lincoln's an Aquarius. He's like, man, we beat their ass. I don't want to beef no more. It's over. Let's just hurry up and reconcile, y'all. And to show you I don't mean no harm, just come on back into the Union. It's all good. And Thaddeus Stevens and the Radical Republicans like, yo, fuck that, man. Make these motherfuckers sign the ironclad oath. Look it up. Ironclad oath. And the ironclad oath is they gonna have to swear that they never took up allegiance against us and shit. And they don't got no allegiance to the Confederacy. In fact, they even said it like if they was a lieutenant and higher in the Confederate Army, these motherfuckers shouldn't be allowed to own land and run for government spots. Because you know what happens when you pussyfoot around with a situation like that, you get Jim Crow. You know what happens when you pussyfoot around on information on shit like that? It's called right now, Mississippi it still has the Confederate flag in their state flag and fly that motherfucker at all levels of government because the Confederate flag is in their state flag, which is the battle flag that chose to separate from the United States of America and launch a war against America. If you would have listened to the Radical Republicans and kept your foot on their fucking neck after you beat their ass and make sure that they don't get in power and immediately saw that black folks through the Freedmen's Bureau was quickly integrated into society in positions of power and ownership, and the Union Army was there as their protection, as Abraham Lincoln said they were, and did put them on that path to do, we wouldn't be having these goddamn problems that we have right now. But we know what happened. Lincoln was assassinated. His vice president had slaves from Tennessee. His vice president had Confederate sympathizers, was a Confederate sympathizer. He gave them the land back, rescinded Special Field Order number 15, right? Again, 40 acres in the mule that you know it by, right? Grant gets out of power, and then Rutherford B. Hayes have to make an off-the-record compromise because niggas don't want to go back to war. So now we get a 95-year setback. So now, America, you gotta fucking fix that shit. America, when you say not guilty and we the world saw fucking Rodney King, nah, you out of fucking pocket. You out of pocket. The judicial system is out of pocket. Big time. So you telling me that crack and cocaine, and crack is at the base of crack is cocaine, but the sentencing is different from crack and cocaine? Nah, nigga, you dropped the ball. Stop playing with me. Call it for what it is. You bullshitting me here, right? What do you mean? But what do you mean not guilty? What do you mean you already paid Breonna Taylor a civil suit? But criminal, so you civilly you saying you liable and you gonna pay the money, but criminally you saying I don't know, ain't nothing happened. I mean, you fucking bullshitting me. You bullshitting me. So we know what your problem is. The judicial process is extremely fucked up. Because, see, you got to remember, United States of America, in the highest court of the land called the Supreme Court, at one point in time, that motherfucker was ran by Confederates. Oh, you want to pinpoint it? Okay. Let's go to the decision of Dred Scott. Let's look at the fact that the president of the chief judge of the Supreme Court, Roger Taney, look into his history and see if his family had slaves. They did. You want to see another judge that voted against Dred Scott and black folks being a citizen? Mr. John Campbell. Look into him. See if he didn't quit and become a assistant secretary of war for the Confederates when the Civil War broke out. Yeah. Look into another one. I think it was Catron. Catron. Has slaves in Tennessee. There go 3 judges right there. The vote was 7-2. And one of the motherfuckers who voted for Dred Scott was from Ohio. Again. When Roger B. Taney died and Abraham Lincoln had to appoint the next Chief Justice, who did he put in there? Salmon P. Chase, which is now Chase Bank, because he was one of the first motherfuckers who was like the Secretary of Commerce or some shit, or for the Treasury. Salmon P. Chase. Salmon P. Chase used to defend black folks in Cincinnati, Ohio. Facts. Abraham Lincoln put him in as the abolitionist lawyer. He put him in as the Chief Justice when Roger Taney died. And when Roger Taney died, Abraham Lincoln didn't go to the goddamn grave site when they put him in the ground. Because Lincoln ain't fuck with them niggas like that. So don't tell me Lincoln a goddamn racist. Hell no. Look into this shit that I'm telling you. Nope. Okay? All right? Yeah, that's me from the old Blog Talk days. For sure. That's me. Yep. So, America, you dropped the ball. You were infiltrated by you. It was because remember, the 13 colonies that had slaves, this was a slave country before it was the United States of America, who had people that says, no, we have certain principles that we live by, and freedom is of the utmost importance. Okay? So now United States got they shit because you withdrew federal troops and you sat back and you watched for 95 fucking years that niggas got tortured, man. So that's your shit. You got to clean that shit up. Now, niggas. You cannot have suppressed emotions and have the ability to fix the situation and not fix it. Oh, let's be clear. Let's be clear. And you got to take your hat off. I ain't got no more wine, but you got to take your hat off to a Jay-Z. Because see, this is why. Oh, you know what? I'm going to raise a legal fund and lawyers to go in and fight for this particular injustice and win the case. So if the goddamn government was against you, why would they let you win? If they against you? I'm lost. How are you winning cases? Fuck all that corny ass. They had the free meal to kill Bill. That's some bullshit, man. That's some bullshit. What you talking about? They don't have to let Meek Mill motherfucking win. Didn't you see it? His judge was fucking black. Get your hand out my pocket, nigga. Malcolm X coon shit, right? See, but his attorney, Italian and white. His friend, Jewish white. But the judge that's sticking it to him, black. So you got to understand that this shit is about truth. It ain't got nothing to do with color, but on the surface, it looked like color. But the shit is really the spirit of truth. It's just the spirit of truth and the spirit of falsehood that's going to operate in whoever. You feel me? So, if the United States was stacked up against us like that, you wouldn't be winning. How? How you going to put a legal team together, Jay-Z, and win the fucking case? Stacked up against you. What the fuck happened in the Dr. Sebi case? Did the judge not get the memo that this black motherfucker shouldn't be healing nobody and we want to kill this motherfucker? So don't let him win shit. Why the fuck they let him win the case? What, they didn't get the memo? Something's broken in the goddamn conspiracy fucking matrix here. Because that chain of thought ain't that goddamn deep, and that chain has already been broken. And you got to consistently come back and just keep chipping away at it and break it. But you cannot have the ability to be able to fix it and don't fix it. So let me be clear. You can crowdfund and fix the water in Flint, Michigan. Or you can just point out one motherfucker that can write the whole goddamn check and pay a company to totally redo the goddamn piping system for Flint, Michigan, and they got it and can do it. But the people collectively got to want to do it. See, on one breath, you say the government want to kill us and poison us, but then you turn around and sit back and don't fix the shit, and you say the government ain't doing nothing. According to your logic, the government ain't supposed to do nothing because they're trying to poison us and kill us. So why ain't we doing nothing then? That's an inconsistency in the psychology, as my brother Minister Jew would say, right? Because niggas don't believe that shit they sell. Or maybe they do and they just fucking confused. But deep down they can't, because ain't nobody leaving out of this motherfucking going to Africa besides Akon. And salute to Akon, because I don't give a fuck what y'all say about Akon. Y'all kiss Akon's ass. Because that nigga said, I'll go get a city, I'll go get citizenship, I'll get a fucking country behind my motherfucking ass, and I'll create a cryptocurrency in that country. That's how much motherfucking I'm so fucking African. And niggas just sit back, you go back to the motherland. And you ain't trying to go back to no goddamn motherland, because you motherfucking feel connected to the goddamn soil right here. And rightfully so. And rightfully so. It ain't no mass exodus leaving this motherfucker like the Hebrew Israelites did, and they went to Dimona, Israel, and you left about America and went over there, and we all going back to Africa. We don't want to go back to Africa. You free to go. What the fuck is stopping us from going to Africa and building and leaving? You don't feel connected to the shit like that's your home. You respect it. You love it from a historical aspect, but it's not your home. Let's just call it for what it is, because your ass would be there if it was. You right here in the land of milk and honey. You got something here. You got something right here, and rightfully so. Rightfully fucking so. And there's always been a group of motherfuckers right here. It's always been a group of motherfuckers right here that's riding. Always right here. That's riding. But who are they? Who riding for us? So as we continue to go on and you don't provide or build, I call it the golden bridge, where humanity, every nation that has a government, they got a belief in God, whether it's Taoism, whether it's Muslim, whether it's Christianity. You know, there's a belief in a higher power, right? But as a collective global citizen, when you fail to make a global collective citizen call where you've built the technology that can all connect us instantly, and you fail to align your minds and synchronize yourself into your respective God, whatever it may be, and say Wednesday at this particular time, universal time, which is going to be different times all across the earth. Sorry, some people, you may be asleep, but wake your ass up. We're all going to face what we perceive to be the Eastern direction, and we're going to have our moment of prayer as collective humanity to give thanks. To give thanks. We all just going to visualize the sun blinking as a symbol and sign of God saying, thank you for recognizing me. We're all going to visualize it at the same time, no matter if it's dark where you at, because surely it will be. But we all going to have one vision at the same time as a collective global citizen to give thanks, to build the golden bridge of reality. You're creating a problem when you have the ability to do it and you're not doing it, right? When you're in the power, you have the power to do it, right? You have the power to fix Flint. You have the power to look at a prison system. And I thank God that the prison systems are private. Why do you want them to be government? Why are you mad about private prisons when you don't believe in the government anyway? So buy you fucking one. How about that? Because it's private. You can buy one. I would love to see the Nation of Islam and the Fruit of Islam with their own prison and talking about reform, right? Like that'd be a great cause, right? So when you have this ability to change and you don't, whether it's through thought or a declaration, and shout out to Cube because Gemini nigga went ahead and started scribing the solutions of America just to get a document going. How long did we been like we could have been did that? So you know what happens? You've been thinking this way for a long time. Like Cube, America with the 3 Ks in it, Mr. Fuck the Police, part of that crew, right? You've been thinking about this shit. The injustice has been on Cube's mind for a very long time. But he's just now got to the point where it's like, fuck this, I'm creating a document and we're just going to have to see what it do. Right? You've been had the ability, but why didn't you create it back then? You know why? Because at that point, his own conscience wasn't agitated enough. So what agitated enough? George Floyd. George Floyd becomes a big catalyst. And now Floyd Mayweather feels like, since we got the same name, I got to pay for your goddamn funeral, man. Because Floyd saw a synchronicity. Floyd Mayweather saw a synchronicity. Damn, the world is changing and his name is Floyd. What that got to do with me? Man, I better pay for his funeral. Least I can do. You see? So what's going to happen is all of our unsolved anger and all this suppressed anger, that shit is in the brain and it's in our cellular body. And cells move. They spin. They create energy. Just because you ain't saying it don't mean you don't think it, nigga. I can look at you and tell that, fuck what you saying, how you feel. Because how you feel is a reflection of what you think. So we know what we think about the black and white issue, although you ain't got no document on paper to try to get to a solution. We know what you feel. So what you feel is radiating out into this universe that you say is intelligent, this universe that somehow knows the law of attraction to be able to bring back what we want, speak it into existence, right? Whether we speak it into existence, this reality knows how to reverberate back our thoughts. We're going to have this problem. Hold on. Hey, what up, Juice? Say what up to the people, man. I'm on YouTube, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What's good?
Oh man. America and karma. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Oh man.
Fuck it.
Let's go. Let's go.
That's what it is, man.
Hey, if you busy, man, I send the links out tonight, bro. Go ahead.
Where you at 9? I got where you at 8:30, 10 minutes. Yeah, go ahead, send it out.
Okay.
All right. So I could have saw that. I'm actually in here. Let me see. Okay. All right. So if the field is intelligent and we radiate in this shit, then we're gonna have to graduate to the point. What if our thoughts are creating another event? What if our thoughts are aiding and abetting another event to take place in this reality to get us to overcome the thing that we say we are mad about? See, you can't believe that, again, you can't believe in division boards and speak it into existence and thoughts become reality. We all know that shit is true. So, okay, just because you don't like that event don't mean that it's not going to not happen because you don't like it. The rule is thoughts become reality. That's the rule. That means what you don't like and what you do like, nigga, it becomes a reality. So the shit that we don't like and we haven't fixed and found a solution to, that shit will become a reality until you find a solution for it. Because the way, if you cleverly watch how nature is designed, the body says you cut yourself, heal. Oh, you need eyelashes because I see dirt was going to get in your eye and this is going to be a problem. Yeah. So if consciousness itself figures shit out, this is known as evolution. I ain't talking about ape to fucking man. Fuck that shit. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, human kingdom. The laws of the invisible force figures shit out. That's what it does. It finds problems and it figures it out. You cannot know what the problem is, people, and not interject the solution. Part of the solution. And I'm going to Cube, and please do me a favor, because now the test becomes on you in your own aspect. Take to Twitter or Instagram and tell Cube, and this is what needs to happen with the United States when it comes, because our problem is with the police force. Here's the law. When any police officer signs up for a job, as becomes a cop, he waives his or her right to a trial in the advent of a suspect in custody or in the pursuit of custody dies without evidence of, what's that word we call it? Resisting and your life being in danger. So if the body cam went off, I don't give a fuck. That person died and your body cam just magically happened to go off, you already agreed that there is no trial. You're going to prison for life. And if your state practiced the death penalty, you will die. So we just going to cut this shit real clean and put it in the sand. Let's draw the line in the sand. You waive your right to a trial. If a custody or if a suspect dies while you trying to put them in custody or in your custody without them showing a form of resistance. Now, I just got to be fair. If I was a motherfucking cop and a motherfucker reached for my pistol or we throwing hands, I'm thinking he's going to kill me if he get my gun and he gets the opportunity to kill me because we already scrapping. You already resisting. So I fuck that. I ain't no, hell no. Nah, no, you ain't. Let's just be real. Shit, it don't even matter the title. Fuck a job description. You rumble with a nigga and he got a pistol or you got a pistol and you think he ain't gonna try to use your shit? Nah, man. Nah, I ain't going. And y'all ain't going either. You know? So here's the rule, man. Straight up. Police officers waive their right when a suspect dies in their custody. They waive their right to a trial. It ain't no grand jury. Ain't no, we got to review the evidence. You're suspended with pay. No. Straight to prison. It ain't in the county jail. Straight to fucking state prison. Straight to it. And now here's the thing, because this is going to be very interesting. What happens when you have some cops that say, oh, I resign, I quit? I say FBI, you put their ass on a terror list, a watch list, and they are not allowed to have any job whatsoever. I'm talking about even the goddamn county deputy that's at the county jail. You get no law enforcement, nothing when you resign. Because under this new law known as the Jubilee Act, this is what the law is. So now that's going to rid that behavior. And if people want to step off, okay, we can address that. If y'all want to knuckle back up, you want to go back to Gettysburg, what you want to do? Like I'll be itching. Like, where we going with this? You know what I'm saying? We going? Where we going? We going back to Vicksburg? Where we going? You know what I'm saying? Like these battlefields, we just spanked y'all ass on, boy. Like what y'all want to do? You know what I mean? Like what is it? The Confederates back in power. They trying to come back in power. Where they at? They ain't trying to come back, man. They ain't trying to come back. At this time, I have to take my hat off and salute to what's their name? Not fucking around crew. You know what I'm saying? Putting work in at Stone Mountain, man. We done already been to that mountain and showed y'all how when we go to the motherfucking mountain, when we drop some shit on you, on some spirit shit, right? You want to see some priest and priestess shit, some real shit as it pertains to this motherfucking conversation at hand. You fuck all that others and all that. I ain't, man. Listen, I'll tell you how to get busy with this shit. Check the record book. Motherfuckers who know. 2015, 7/11, July 11. Do a book signing. We're going to Stone Mountain on Sunday the 12th, rather. Sunday, July the 12th, 2015, we're going to Stone Mountain. And we going to do a little spiritual thing, powwow. And we about to put some shit in the ether because Stone Mountain is the headquarters of the second Ku Klux Klan of 1915. When they started the second Klan. The first Klan got fucked up. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know General Grant, who became the president, President Grant fucked up the first Ku Klux Klan? It's called the Klan Acts, known as the Enforcement Acts. Look it up. Did you know that the Department of Justice was created by President Ulysses Grant, who was the war general who won the Civil War that got black folks free? He signed laws into act to persecute the Ku Klux Klan and dismantled the first Klan that started in 1865. This is why you have a first Klan and a second Klan. Okay. Did you know his prosecutor, Amos T. Ackerman, used to be a Confederate? That's why I said you can have a change of heart. You got to watch this shit. Amos T. Ackerman, the prosecutor for General Grant, was a Confederate. You hate black folks. And then later has a change of heart and works in Grant's administration and becomes an attorney general and started prosecuting and picking black jurors to prosecute white terrorists known as the Ku Klux Klan. Facts. That's what I'm saying. You can't, even if a motherfucker went against you, a motherfucker may have a change of heart and wake up out of it. You don't know why, like, you don't know if a motherfucker just fighting for heritage and history, but they really don't believe that, but they gotta ride with it because it's they side and they just feel like they gotta ride with it, but they really disagree with it. This is why if you Google James Longstreet, he was a general in the Confederate Army, but the South consider him a traitor. Because later, watch this. This dude fought for the Confederates. This nigga was like the top, I would say like the number 3 general. I would say General Lee's number 1, Stonewall Jackson number 2. James Longstreet was up there. He was up there, right? James Longstreet, after the Civil War, was in New Orleans. He gets a job in the Grant administration in New Orleans. There was this incident that took place on Canal Street in New Orleans where the white citizens was going against the black citizens, and James Longstreet came and gave all the black people rifles. Nigga, you was just in the fucking Civil War fighting to have black people as slaves for the Confederates. Now that is over and you and Granton's cool and shit, now you giving black people guns? Facts. Look it up. So you had conflicted souls, and you had conflicted souls that was in the North that fought for the cause, but at their sentiment, but like, man, fuck niggas. But I'm down with the United States government. I'm gonna do what the government says do. So you got to be able to decipher this shit. You see what I'm saying? Again, it's the Malcolm X syndrome. Get your hands out my pocket, nigga. You keep looking at it how you want to look at it, but I'm telling you, this shit is deeper than color. All right? All right. So the karma of the United States, to wrap this all up, man. The karma of the good old USA is blood. Oh, I was putting that work in on that priest shit. 7/12, we go to Stone Mountain. We put this work in. Now, you know me, I advertise super early. I'm like, yo, like I'm February, I'm starting to advertise like, yo, meet me in July. Meet us there. Meet us at the mountain, man. We're going to Stone Mountain. We're going to put this work in. Word is bond. So I can go to my timeline, pull up the dates and bring the receipts. Now, we're promoting that we're going to be in Atlanta on 7/11. Do you know Friday, July the 10th? Google it. Confederate flag come up missing out of at Stone Mountain. Google the shit. And then that following week, you can Google this story. NAACP says banish the Confederate symbols off of Stone Mountain. So that Friday, the flag come up missing. Saturday, we in town getting everything together and do the book signing. Sunday, we're going to go to the mountain. And then like that following Monday and Tuesday, the NAACP runs a story, the news runs a story that they want to banish is the word that they use. NAACP wants to banish the symbols off of Stone Mountain. That's 2015. I can take you back to the spring equinox of 2013 when we went to the mountain and it was cloudy as fuck and we made the clouds disappear by doing a banishing ritual pentagram. Okay. Doing a banishing rite, made the cloud disappear. And then that following April, a story surfaced, and you can Google that story. A petition surfaced to remove symbols off of Stone Mountain. April 2013 and July 2015. Every time I go to Stone Mountain on that type of shit, I send a signal, we, the collective, send a signal into the field that sends an idea to what appears to be an organic idea from the goddamn NAACP and somebody who says, hey, these symbols need to come down every single time we go. Ain't missed the mark yet. And the fucking flag came down as soon as we got in town. You want to talk about the spirit? You want to talk about the spirit world? See, man, this is the problem, man. We say we believe, man, but if we really, really, really believe, man, then God damn it, man, boy, oh boy, you make the fucking heavens open up if we really believe as collective humanity. But see, again, another underlying problem that we have are we are unconscious atheists. Like we really don't believe in that shit that we think we do. And if we do, we pussy. because we too scared to call it out for what it is, and like, yo, show me a sign. Like, yo, man, fuck that, man. We gonna visualize this, and if this shit real and God fuck with her, then do you fuck with me like that? I want to know. If you the supreme, do you fuck with me like that? Like, you scared to wrestle this shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Not us. Listen, man. Listen, this is why motherfuckers don't invite me on their radio show. I'm telling you that I swear to God. I swear to you, motherfuckers would be like, hey, Jew, man, when we come on, man, tell Noble to chill out, man. Don't, man, you know, man, because you know how Ampool get, man. I get the gag I get gag orders and shit. You know why? Because the conversation that I know we present pushes us to have to take action. And we can give you some shit to think about. But God damn it, if we gonna enact on what the fuck I'm saying, then that means you're gonna have to take action. There ain't no fucking all that other shit and the white man doing this and you know, and go home. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's like, who doing what? Huh? Oh, nigga, we gonna fuck them up. Who? Man, what? These little puny ass motherfuckers? Man, shit. Nigga, physically my people rolled on them. I know my people rolled on them. The Union Army rolled on these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Physically. Spiritually, this shit is easy. That shit is super easy. Gotta be able to be, we bout that shit for real. Like, we ain't saying that shit lightly, man. I got some shit that can show you some shit on some shit. You be to turn this thing upside down. So I said, you know what, man? It would be egotistical of a nigga to really teach this information in mass and creating what appears to be these random external acts and shit. You know what I'm saying? For what? The people gotta want it. The people gotta be in the situation. Unfortunately, that means one thing. Man, I say it like Bobby said. I wish these the day that the motherfucker keep talking about, I wish they motherfucking would try to come online and try to be like, oh, you niggas is going in concentration camps and we shutting it down. I wish a motherfucker would. I promise you. I promise you. You will see the skies open up and it will be a whole new goddamn revelation that's going to take place. Because we already got the history to show you where we made that, where we literally had eyes appear in the sky and got pictures of the shit. Dark as fuck outside, gray clouds all through the sky, and two bright ass eyes appear as suns. And anybody in here who been rolling with me for a long time can validate the shit that they seen the goddamn PowerPoint themselves. Gotta lie about this shit, man. Seriously. You so powerful, man. You can do something like go to Serpent Mound in Ohio and walk the serpent, and then a snake will come up missing on the news just to get your attention, to let you know how powerful you are. That's how powerful we are, man. So if the power of God is inside us, and all of the books teach that the power of the living being is inside of us, it operates through us, then what the fuck we got to be fearful for about some type of shit? We activate that power to come online and we whip some motherfucking ass if we got to. I just can't stand the idea of somebody bullying us around and shit. This ain't goddamn, somebody said it right. We ain't our ancestors. We'll fuck you up. This ain't that time where, yes, a massa. Oh, I'm gonna go sit on the back of the bus. This ain't that fucking time. Nope. So the karma is, man, United States of America has to be willing to make the amendments of where he dropped the ball at, and then the people have to be willing to get behind some type of agreement, like the Declaration of Independence, in a sense, to say, yeah, this is the solution, and after this we can call this shit even. Hold on one second, let me make this run real fast. I'll be right back and we can go to a quick Q&A. Hold on. All right, party people. All right, man. All right, so what we got, man? What we got? Any questions before I bounce up out of here? Fat boy gotta go eat. All right. So I mean, here's the kicker though. These planets record energy. So if some shit happened today, and let's just say Saturn and Pluto was in Capricorn, all this shit that's happening within government and shit, it's gonna remember that shit. So the next time that they get together, these two gonna have the same conversation. Again, I give reference to what is that? The quantum astrology video, because this shit been doing that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Man, what up, man? Man, bro, honestly, man, yeah, I don't be on social media. I just actually deactivated Facebook, man. Yo, I mean, my email list, I just tell people, man, if you really fuck with me, you be on the email list. These days, man, I'm at the prosperityinvestmentgroup.com. So the prosperityinvestmentgroup.com. Subscribe to this channel, because I rarely come on here now, bro. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. And I've been, like I started earlier in this video, man, I've been having a field day in real estate and really building. You know what I'm saying? Building success. So there was a period of my life where I was 100% dedicated to, divulging the information. And that's dope, because I meet Indian people who got money and want to invest their money with me. And we do some things together. And, I meet people from different cultural backgrounds. And without me taking that spiritual journey, I wouldn't know how to at least say hi and know what goddess there is, or what God is that they deal with in their system of thought. So the spiritual foundation has been great, because it allows me language. It allows you to break through the barriers of other cultures. But honestly, Steve, man, the email list, man, because I do free presentations, but when I do, they all really been on building wealth and real estate. I got a family wealth club. I'll go grab the link for you real fast. I got a private membership. I've always been doing shit on the private. At first, it started off with the astrology membership, right? But right now I got something called the Family Wealth Club. And there is an element within that wealth club where I give people a monthly report, just to make sure that they straight. You know what I'm saying? Astrologically, if they want that option and whatnot. But bro, I'm on earth like a mug. I'm talking real estate. We got a stock club that meet every third Saturday. We just doing deals, and we, doing partnerships and just doing ventures together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very much on earth right now, man. But hit that link, man. That's where I be at. Bare minimum, just sign up for the newsletter. That way you on my email list. Does Trump have to win for the righteous to take over? So that's dope. So I would think so. Because he serves as a great agitating force, right? Like, he's the one that's like agitated you so much that now you can finally create a doctrine and say, oh yeah, this is what Black America want. You know what I'm saying? So Ice Cube writes it, and like, it ain't perfect, it's in its infancy, but this is what we got to do. So people are annoyed. So he came and he agitated and he stirred the pot. There's a big misconception about him, for sure, that the media does a hell of a job of giving people Trump delusional syndrome, giving people that. But at the same time, too, he makes it no better, because he's a wild card and he'll say what the fuck is on his mind, and he has no sense of empathy. Classic Gemini nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just straight raw. However, he serves his point. So I think it will really be great for Trump to win on a few different levels. But one being a major catalyst. Because see, you know what happened? Biden and Harris win, you feel like you got a victory, then you'll go back to being dormant. But Trump win again. Well, like me and you have had these conversations, man. I don't know if motherfuckers can handle another 4 years of this nigga. Like motherfuckers will go crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's needed because next stop, Saturn's going in Aquarius. And Saturn represents government and Aquarius represents the radical people who want to change. So we thought we just seeing the fucking tip of the iceberg right now. You know what I'm saying? And the election period with Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn and Mars is in Aries squaring that shit. Like that means Mars represents gunshots and war and violence. He's at a certain position looking at government. So this is like some bloody shit that can take place, whether it be through the people or whether it be somebody that's in government. This is definitely assassination type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be interesting because Saturn's going to go over here into Aquarius. And again, the same radical people who won't change now is going to have government on their side, the planet of government to put some structure to it. And so the solution is literally playing out right in front of us. It's coming. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it'd be immature of me to really get on here. And here's another thing too, Steve. I believe that you could talk publicly about spiritual things, but to advertise and solicit people for spiritual services publicly, that shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be done. Because the main reason is you need to have a thorough system to be able to check the temperament of a person. And if a person is not really, really grounded in grounded and all this information that they can get on the internet, it drives people crazy. And I'm not saying that lightly. Like it could drive people crazy because they don't know how to implement what is said. So I'm not a proponent of spiritual sciences being advertised and taught in the public. You can have a discussion about some shit all day. But now you just can't come sign up for some shit and I teach you. You got to inquire, and I'll throw some shit at you to see how long it's gonna take for you to come back and see if you're really for it. So motherfucker asked me about the zodiac signs. I'll be like, my typical response is, oh, okay, well, you got to study the inner mysteries first before you study the outer mysteries. And what happens is when people study the outer mysteries, they never cultivate the inner mysteries. And that's a disconnect when that happens. You have to know that first, know the inner mysteries because it's you, and then know how the inner mysteries is a mirror of the outer mysteries and they're one and the same. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard to get that understanding if you go straight to the outer mysteries and whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, Bush and Florida all over. Exactly. And that's why I voted for Bush. The one time I ever voted in my life, I voted for Bush because I got the balls to vote for the person that's going to push the button for World War III. That's what I said. That was my logic of doing it. Like, I'm that crazy where like, oh. See, John Kerry put you to sleep, but George Bush may agitate you. I'm going to vote for the agitation because we got to get somewhere. Like, I'm that crazy. Seriously. I'll vote for Trump because Trump agitates you to get to a solution, and Joe Biden to put you to sleep. And you feel like you got a victory and you'll stop pushing. So no, go ahead, Trump, keep going. Because you're pushing us to become better, unbeknownst to our own selves. You see what I'm saying? And so that's just how it got to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What I say in 2011 told us in the future you would be harder to. Yeah. So yeah, you just get to those points, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, listen, man, that's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is, bro. But let me get ready to get but yeah, man, this is just a quick little history, man. You know what I'm saying? This my thing. Hold on 1 second. I gotta send my man a phone number on these houses and shit. All right. All right. So All right, man. You a Taurus with a cat moon. So that you supposed to be getting this money, man. You supposed to be getting this money, Miss Priestess, Sea Priestess. You gotta get this money. Because Capricorn is success, and Taurus is the money bag. Those are Earth's signs. At some point in time, for sure, you're going to have to get on to that. Not that you're not, but that the business thing. And we all got to bridge the left and right hemisphere of the brain, right? The math part of the brain, and money is math. The right side is pictures in abstract spiritual shit. So that's another thing too. I'm always light years ahead of motherfuckers anyway, because I'm the Aquarian sign. Literally, if you look up Aquarius, they say futuristic, right? So I'm always in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, damn, I'm here. I didn't moved on to a whole nother thing now. That's like, oh, okay, y'all catch up to this and be able to figure this shit out. That's really, really, really important. And time, money, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really, really important. And here's the thing, and I'm in with this, man. You got to be careful of lottery consciousness. Many of us want the ritual, we want the magic, we want the thing to fall out of the sky, but we don't have the vehicle, the means to be able to attract it. So in other words, will I become a millionaire simply driving Uber? I doubt it, right? That's not how I'm gonna get it. And so you have to find that vehicle that allows for the kind of transactions you want to happen. Now, if your math is I can become a millionaire by selling a million items and getting $1 profit after taxes and everything, that's my million, that's my math, then by all means move your million products if that's your thing. That's not my thing. My thing is I like thousands, tens, at least $10,000 transactions. Because repeat that 10 times, I get to 100. You know what I'm saying? Then I get 100K and find a way to scale to 10, do that 10 times, and now I got a mill. And so real estate for me became my vehicle that's big enough to hold the idea of financial freedom that I desire. Don't get it fucked up. Like, you need money for war. You know what I'm saying? You need money for everything that you want to do, but it's just really about, I don't want to have it when I got kids and I got a grandson, I got kids, grandchildren, and not even if I didn't, if the only reason I'm saying no to the experience is because I don't have the money, but I have the desire, I don't like that feeling. That's some fucked up shit to me. Like, what the fuck? I can't do Bora Bora. Because why? Because man, you ain't your money ain't right, man. You ain't got the money and shit. Oh shit, man. You what? Fuck that. I want a fucking beach house on Malibu. Why ain't you got it, man? My money ain't. Oh nah, nigga. So the spiritual thing, if you're not careful, man, and you can look it up, man. The a key word for Neptune is spirituality, but another word is illusion and escapism. And when you go on the spiritual path, because remember, it's not about the physical. When you die, you can't take it with you, and that's a lie. You can, okay? That's a whole nother conversation. Maybe I do a webinar on that shit. The shit that you got here, you have in the next motherfucking world, okay? Now, if you have the belief that you can't, you'll be fucked up when you awaken in the next motherfucking cycle. All right. So, but anyway, people will start to escape their financial reality. So here it is, as a people, we can do all these goddamn rituals, we can do all this grand knowledge, but our cash flow statement, our financial statement look like shit. Credit look like shit. You can't make no moves to advance the people, and the people who need it most, like, needs form of economic repair and economic gain, and we have nothing there to offer. Which now that money problem is going to always be eaten at the issue and start to decay your spiritual fabric if you're not careful. So now again, you got to bridge the left and right hemispheres of the brain. So I let you handle all the mental upstairs conversation. You can have all that shit, bro. I'm going over here. And when I went over here, I'm talking about 7 rental properties on the board. I'm talking about, Airbnb, just real estate deal, wholesale real estate deals, learning how to even do deals with no money out my pocket, learning how to take over somebody's mortgage and let the company do it. And her mortgage is 702, but it just went to rent today. Allah heed. The tenant moved in today as we speak right now, paying me 13 and the mortgage is only 7. Hello. That's a $600 spread. Hello. $600 spread that I get to keep forever because the property was signed over to moi. You understand what I'm saying? That's the name of the game. And then be able to kick that spiritual shit too. Don't be a broke motherfucker, but you got the spiritual shit. Show me, nigga. Show me on every level possible. You know what I'm saying? And it don't mean that we ain't knowledgeable. I want to be clear. I'm saying bridge the gap, though. That's all I'm saying. Bridge the gap. All right. All right, man. So I got to roll. If you need me, get at me, man. I'm at theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com. Theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com. I was brought up in the nation, so I must say, if I offended you by my language, I apologize. It is not my intention to offend anyone. All right. I'm not here to harm nobody. Never am. You looking to us, man. Me and my brother, we ain't never got the people. Been paying people's bills since January of 2012. It is going on, what, 9 years? No, yeah, 9 years. It'll be 9 years this January, called the Toel Love Fund. Like, it ain't never been, oh, this nigga, I gave him my money and I ain't get my money. That ain't never been our MO. Never, ever, 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 ever. All right. And it never will be. All right. But if you need me, theprosperityinvestmentgroup.com and whatnot, holla at me. Appreciate you. Love you. Peace.